Hello, I just wanted to talk about this World Drone Prix, which they held in Dubai in the last few days. First off, it was won overall by Banni UK, Luke Bannister, which we're sort of claiming as one of our own because A, he's from the UK, B, Luke came along to a bunch of our FPV meets, and after the first time where he kind of flew normally, in a matter of months, he became this pretty scary, legendary, he can just beat anybody. So it's very well deserved and well done to him. However, I watched some of the footage and I thought, they haven't got it right. I've always been worried about drone racing as a spectator event. It's brilliant fun to do in the couple of little casual races I've been in. It just had such a ball and mainly crashed because I was having such a good time watching everybody else crashing around me. But when you look at it, even from the view of onboard cameras, it's not that great. And so, could it really be carried through to a proper event? So we come to Dubai, and they're throwing around crazy prize money. I mean, $250,000 for the winner, multiple prizes for like fastest laps, second, third, $1 million in prize altogether. Absolutely amazing. And the course they had set up is staggering. It's just a beautiful thing. It looked like a massive spine of a snake laid out all across this great big enclosure. And I thought, this is going to be amazing. And I don't know if it's the sport itself or the way they had it covered, but I think they really missed an opportunity. I watched some of the live streaming, at least the first three races, and it was woeful. The guy there didn't even know when his mic was on half the time. He was just gibbering away about nothing. He wasn't aware of the positions, even who the teams racing were, whose drone was who. And so it was just like, a bunch of quads were in this area, and there was no coverage of who was in the lead, or was it even close? I mean, in the first two races, I know only one quad actually finished, so an obvious winner there. The other thing is, although the course looks absolutely fantastic, they were doing it over something like 12 kilometres, which meant they had to come in for pit stops. So the whole thing for me seemed to turn into more of a strategic, when are we going to pit, how many pit stops are we going to have to change battery, instead of a really close, watching these quads go head to head through these tiny little gates and things. So I'm keen to know if anybody else saw this and was thinking the same sort of thing, or if I'm just being like a grumpy old guy at the moment. What I think they need to do to improve this is not have this pit stopping. I mean, it really takes that real head-to-head racing out of it, and you can't tell who's there. They need to also be able to tell us who is leading. I'd imagine what you really want is some onboard footage, and here's the track cameras. But here's also an overlay, and here's the sort of little graphic of where the quads actually are. Because without that, you're like just a bunch of vroom 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 going past, and it's no good. I love the track though. I think the track was amazing, staggering even. The other small point is about the winnings itself. I mean, Luke scooped first prize. That's $250,000. Set him up pretty well for life. Of course, I've now read that this is split between the 43 other members of the team he was racing for. I mean, to be fair, I'm sure that was agreed up front and that was the case, but it still seems a little bit unfair that the guy that does the racing and pretty much brings in the money is the same payout as the guy that swapped the battery, or the guy that stood there and said turn left, the navigator. But that's a smaller point. Anyway, I mean, it's a very positive thing that here's such a great big event and it's big money and they want to publicise it this much, but my goodness, if you're gonna do it without having the proper coverage in that, it's not going to grow, in my opinion. You really need something better. But let's see what comes out. I mean, it's not the first large profile event. There's been other ones, and there's more coming up. So I guess I'll keep watching, and hopefully it will improve. I mean, the whole thing's in its infancy, and I'm sure the learning curve of coverage looks pretty much like that. But yeah, that's just me.